like your backdrop here. Looks good. This is the first time we've been in here since you've done that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Because I think last time the big
It
boar was
was,
still
because
open.
as soon as I was done with it, I went to Minnesota.
Yeah. Minnesota is the place to be.
I went to the Rift. Yeah, the Rift.
Pre-apologies for pre-show, tree show, for any disgusting sounds that come from me.
Allergy pills are your friend. They don't knock you out, but they get rid of the snot. That's what I take whenever I have a cold.
Yeah, I was taking allergy pills. They didn't seem to be doing much. So now I'm taking
Oh,
decongestant, Sudafed stuff.
okay.
It's non-drowsy too, but I don't know if it's helping either. I'm gonna end up having to either suffer through it or go see about getting like a cocktail shot or something. I don't like going to the doctors though. I'm just not a fan of it.
Alright. Well, here, I'll bring up our show notes.
So one thing before we get officially started, so this isn't in the audio later. I guess I could have mentioned this prior, but the the placement, makes it a little hard to get like a low angle of us because it zooms back behind the stuff, the stuff against the wall. Not a big deal, but
Okay. I was thinking about putting like some boards or something down to make the chairs higher. Would that help?
well, it's like if I just try to come down like behind the like to give like the angle from behind the bar, uh, like a straight on shot, it drops down in behind those uh, cabinets. But like I said, it's not a big deal. It's really not. It's fine.
I'm gonna have to watch YouTube. Oh gosh. Okay.
Um, so no big deal. It's fine.
It's okay. I did redecorate a little bit. If you can tell, we have high aisle stuff in here right now.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, we have a new high aisle counter and then some backgrounds. And I put in a full espresso coffee bar that I'm working on adding to for Crazy when she gets back over in that one corner.
It's got probably a more homey feel than it's had any of the time so far.
And then over by Sasquatch's bear, I added some flowers in a Zenithar statue since his favorite house is his Zenithar chapel.
Oh, cool.
That's our Sasquatch corner now.
And a nice skull next to the sweet rolls.
Well, I figured because it was just us, we need someone else to talk to, and the augur loves talking to people.
Yeah, it does.
So I let the augur join us. Mystery host, the augur of.
Hey, there we go. I zoomed in at it. Okay. That works too. Okay, cool. I'm able to get down a little lower now. I didn't think about the fact that I had zoomed my camera out, so that's why it was dropping me back so far. Alright, there we go.
Alright, I got our notes up, got my angle. I'll remember to move a little bit every here and now so we don't log out, hopefully. Yeah. And whenever you're ready, let me know before you do your silence thing.
Okay, I will count us down. Intro in. Welcome everybody to a Snugpod Cast. Wow, I almost butchered that. I'm your host, Nasal Congestant, and as you can see, if you're watching, I am almost all alone, but I have one other person here with me. I am joined by Gwen the Bard. How are you?
Hello. I am good. I am not nasal congested today.
I am very nasally congested. Um, so if you hear really really gross sounds during this episode, it's my cat. It's not me. I don't do that. I would definitely make sure to mute beforehand. But the little Khajiits running around sometimes make gross sounds and try to get me blamed for it. Uh, so yeah, there's that. Um, Katie, I'm sorry. I guess that's not a big deal. I think it's not private. I think I've done that before. My bad. Crazy, gone crazy. I'm going crazy. Uh,
We've all
Crazy's
gone
unable to
crazy.
join. What?
We've all gone crazy at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but anyway, gone crazy's not with us tonight. She is out on vacation, so she is traveling Tamriel and getting some sights. And if you're in Discord, you may have seen some photos of what she's been out doing. Um, and so that's exciting. We all need to get away a little bit. Since the last time that we've recorded, uh, I was able to go and my family was able to go and hang out with her family some, and had a good time. Got to sit down and eat and talk and just get to know each other in person a little bit and do some other fun stuff. And I believe you did as well. Is that right?
I did. It was interesting. I'm in one state on one day and having breakfast and running around a park with Crazy, and in the evening I am doing my martial arts class in a different state. It's like, well, this was a good, interesting day.
That's fun. Um, yeah, and I guess we have a little bit of an announcement. Sasquatch is no longer with us. He uh, he recently moved to a new area of the woods and found uh, some other of his kind that he wanted to uh, go and commune with, and so he's taking some time away just to focus on some real life stuff, good stuff. It's nothing bad or anything like that. No hard feelings or anything. Nothing drove him away or anything like that. So we don't want anybody to get that impression. Sasquatch is always welcome to come hang out with us anytime he wants and has the time to do so. But he just wanted to focus on some things outside of the game, um, and I can completely understand where he's coming from. And so he will be missed on the show and on dungeon runs and things like that. But you may still, if you're in our Discord or uh, you know, you never know, you might still hear from him from time to time. He but he did tell me just to go ahead and to let everybody know uh, that he is stepping away for a bit. So you won't hear Sasquatch anymore, but hopefully next time we are together, which I'm assuming will be next week, but from one week to the next we never know for sure. But uh, hopefully Crazy will be back with us, and you never know. There's always an opportunity for guest hosts and things like that. Who knows where this will go from there? Uh, but yeah, so
You could have read it the way I wrote it in show notes. I really like how I wrote it in show notes.
well, you read it how you had it in show notes.
Sasquatch's bear came back with another note. He will be adventuring off Nern. Not sure how long he'll be gone. I liked that.
That is good. Uh, but I'm bad at reading show notes. You should know this by now. Um, so, what have you been up to in game? Have you had a chance to do much?
In game, I got one Undaunted. It's been a while since I've been here. I got one Undaunted dungeon run in before I left, and then one of our guildies sent me a opalescent chokethorn piece I didn't have, and that was awesome. So that was great, because that is one of the only two things I got from that event. So that was really nice. But otherwise, the Battlegrounds weekend, once again, real life, it's been busy, but I managed to get in one Battlegrounds match from the Battlegrounds weekend before we start podcasting tonight.
Is that over
And
with?
it's going to be over by the time we're done recording, because when
Okay.
I logged in, there was only an hour left of it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been able to do that.
But I hope they do more of those, because that was really nice. I personally love Battlegrounds. I don't know how you feel about it, but I like the short PvP matches, and so being able to do the other style matches instead of just death all the time is
Right.
really nice. Especially Capture the Flag and Chaos Ball are my favorites.
Yeah.
I really, because you can see your progress. You're not just running around slaughtering each other.
Right. Yeah. In general, I've always preferred objective-based games over team deathmatch style games. Even even playing shooters and things like that. Like I always preferred domination modes or like plant and destroy type modes over just running in circles and usually dying because I'm not as good at shooters as the little kids that play those games are. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I just mean that a lot of times the people that are really really good at that game are younger kids that don't have jobs and things like that. And then there are some people that are still good at them otherwise, but I've just been laughed at by little kids enough to. But anyway, uh, yeah. So I generally tend to agree on that. I like having an objective to chase, so I can feel like even if I'm not as good on, uh, as quick with my controls, I can still find ways to contribute to what my team is trying to do. I do like Battlegrounds. I don't play Battlegrounds a ton just because my play time is somewhat limited, and that will be one of the things taken away from other things I'm trying to accomplish. But during PvP events and stuff, I usually play Battlegrounds rather than Cyrodiil for the event stuff. But it's fun. I definitely think having ways to get people involved in other game modes is good. I don't know. I haven't seen reaction to that yet. I don't know if you have. What people think um, about kind of being pushed towards one game mode versus being able to choose the one they want. Uh, have you seen anything on forums or anything like that where people have had any discussion about their take on it?
Not in a while. The last discussion I saw was initially when we were having a struggle of getting varied game modes when it was all just set the deathmatch all the time. That's the last discussion I saw on it, and so I'm just going to assume that events like this are their answer to it, to guarantee you getting something other than that. Which, if that's the case, doing that once a month or once or twice a month for just varied game styles for a weekend for just 4 days, because it was only 4 days. That I'd like that. That's a good answer to that, I think.
I know there are some people who would see that as, this is a game mode nobody likes, and now you're making everybody play this game mode. Uh, so I can see where somebody might come at it from that perspective, where if it's one that's less popular, is part of the reason why they do those things, and they limit it to team deathmatch only, is because certain game modes weren't getting played by enough people, and because they had too many options, and people would only play one or two different types, and it would make your queue times excessively long for anything that wasn't as popular. So by limiting the game modes, you kind of, I'm not sure if artificial is the word I'm looking for, but you kind of boost the fewer modes you have, you boost their participation, and unless of course people go, I don't like this game mode, and they just don't play it at all. Um,
Which
so,
I think was what was happening.
yeah,
But I personally like seeing the events, and
yeah,
I'm interested in seeing the community response to it, and
yeah,
hopefully we have more of them going forward.
yeah. Hopefully it does go. It does go well. I don't know if that's necessarily the best answer to limit it only to events. Um, Having the events is good. I think maybe some sort of regular rotation. I've seen that get used in other games too, where this week's uh, PvP modes would be these two game types or whatever. They'll have they'll have one or two that stay no matter what, and then they'll have another alternating list that you can choose from those. Uh, if you want to vary it up, and it alternates, so it kind of mixes up. This week, maybe I'm playing this game mode I don't like as much, but the next week is the one I really really like, and But yeah, definitely. If you've got feedback and you want to share that with us, you can do so through our various social channels. We'll give you all of that stuff later, but definitely let us know what you thought about it. Um, and yeah, be interested to see what the community's take is and how well it was received. And I'm sure ZeniMax Bethesda will probably put out something that talks about it too if it was successful. So maybe we could talk about that next time we get together if that's been released too.
Yeah.
Cool. So have you read these articles that you've linked in our show notes?
I have. Okay, I've read most of them.
Okay.
Let's see. So let's go in order. We can start with Legacy of the Bretons, Autumn event. Let me open the link. Aha.
Oh, this is the thing with all of the different streamers, right?
Yeah, yes and no. Like, yes, because there's all of the other broadcasts and things for it.
Right.
But the main portion of it, okay, we'll read the top here first.
Okay.
So we have this news article was released on the 22nd. Dive deep into Firesong and more during the Legacy of the Bretons Autumn event. You know what it is? It is tune in on twitch.tv/Bethesda on Thursday, September 29th at 3 p.m. EDT during a special event. Members of the ESO community and development teams will dive deep into the upcoming Firesong DLC, including its story-setting characters and challenges. If you tune in for at least 15 minutes, you will receive both the Clouded Sench Leopard Cub Pet and an Ouroboros Crown Crate as your Twitch drops, as long as your accounts are linked prior to the event.
Yeah, if you think you have linked your account and you really 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 want to make sure you get these uh, rewards for tuning in, double check that you've linked your account. For whatever reason, it tends to be an issue that accounts get unlinked. It's happened to me a time or two. So.
And if you watch for 30 minutes, you get the second Crown Crate, which, for me at least, my brain just goes, ooh, more Crown Gems for more shinies.
Right.
But yes, this is going to be all the Twitch streamer things, because if you keep looking through the article, depending upon when you want to watch it, it has all of the different rebroadcast times and stuff for all of the different dates for different time zones in the streamers, and some of them do have specific community members, streamers, stream team members who will be doing special segments and deep dives on them, and it looks like that goes over the course of a week.
Right. Now this isn't the High Isle event that we've talked about.
Yeah, it's not the actual event,
okay.
but it looks like it's just going to be announcements.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I knew that there was talk about a High Isle event, but we don't have any details on that yet. Correct?
Correct. We still don't.
Yeah. So I was going to say, if this is it, I'm a little disappointed. Because I was kind of thinking it was going to be an actual thing. So because they have done that, and that would make sense because they've done with the past few chapters, they've done those celebration events and things. I thought those were usually like a year after release, but
well, the Greymoor one wasn't a year after release. That was more of a because that when they did the Greymoor one, that was towards like the end of the year.
Okay.
When they did, because that's when they had the right when the DLC was coming, because they had the push for getting the people could get the house and stuff with antiquities.
Okay.
So that's when they did that celebration.
Oh,
I remember that. I don't remember how they did with Blackwood. Did they do Blackwood during last year?
I don't remember. Do you think that they'll have some other kind of community earned prize with this one?
We'll just have to wait and see. They've been pretty tight on saying anything for that. There hasn't been really anything.
Yeah, those are always kind of fun little things that incentivize everybody to get in and play because uh, we've gotten big houses, whole uh, DLC given for
Having to
free.
do a certain amount of Tales of Tribute games.
Yeah, which I have not had a chance to really engage with that a ton. I've just played like for the first couple of matches as part of the tutorial. Uh, would like to have more time to play. Give me a game I can play mobile. um, but yeah, that would be fun. Give us kind of a ooh. I know this isn't where we were going with this, uh, but it just kind of hit me because we kind of talked about it a little bit. If they had, and I know this won't happen because it would involve real world money on their end uh, as a reward versus just in game things. But if if you tie it to Tales of Tribute, if the community hit a certain threshold, then they would release even if it was kind of a for sale thing. If they released a like a physical collector's uh, tribute deck,
You really want an IRL Tales of Tribute deck, don't you?
I just want to be able to uh, card games are not necessarily the thing I want to play when I'm sitting at my TV, uh, but I do like playing them and having the ability to go sit in my kitchen and play on the table when somebody else is watching TV or
So
that kind of thing.
I love how focused you are on the start of a physical game because that breeds us perfectly into our next article, which
Indeed.
I am excited for.
Yep. Yep.
The Betrayal of the Second Era. So it looks like it's going to be a waiting on link to load here. But what it looks like, it's going to be a board game, kind of like a narrative as you play board game, um, where you can play. It says it says you can play solo, which I'm not sure how that would work, but 1 to 4 players, and it will be a board game through the Second Era. All right, we got the article up here. All right, so I'm
My
just gonna read.
that link is taking me to a page.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't work out for me either, but I got it up here, so I'll read through some of it. In Betrayal of the Second Era, you and your allies set out in 5 of Tamriel's 9 provinces, quest and complete encounters, develop your characters, and engage in strategic battles. Exactly the kind of adventure you'd expect in an Elder Scrolls game. So it was announced in January, and it looks like it's going to be coming out spring of next year. So I personally am really excited to play this because generally in my house anyway, we have a lot of board games that are this kind of style. So seeing it in a fandom that I personally enjoy,
Right.
I get to push it on them instead of their games being pushed on me. So I'm definitely going to be playing this. Um,
I'm looking at the at another website that says it's estimated 60 to 240 minute playtime.
Yeah, they said it's like roughly an hour per player per round, and that it is
Okay.
what was it? That is a story that is meant to be played through through 3 sessions. So it's kind of like a D&D style game. It's a cooperative storytelling game.
Set during the Tamriel Second Era, during the events of the Plain Build. Did you read that, or is this different than what you just read?
It's different than what I just read. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just kind of skimming through the text here. We can read all of it if you want.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm looking at I think I'm looking at a board game geek website. So I don't know if the description here was the same. You can read whatever you've got there that you want to read, and then if I see something in this that stands out, then I'll read it too.
All right. While we've had the overall concept of the game in mind for the past couple of years, we've spent a lot of time since January fleshing out the core gameplay mechanics, explains Josh Carlson, Betrayal's lead designer. There are a lot of interlocking systems in the game: combat and character customization, traveling, dungeon delving, story, and side quests, etc. We've had to make sure the final product allows all of those systems to interact in a way that feels dynamic and meaningful without being overly complicated. ESO and the Elder Scrolls games in general are known for the large amount of player choice and how to interact with the games. We want that feel to extend to Betrayal of the Second Era as well, while still maintaining a clear objective and end game. And then it goes to show a image that looks like we're going to have customizable maps, where it's the hex tiles, hexagonal tiles, where you can do kind of an interlocking map, which looks nice. And then it goes to show what some of the character sheets may look like, where we can fill in different stats and different things as well. Additionally, we have also spent a lot of time developing the actual content players will be interacting with in the game, says Josh. This includes a massive number of illustrations of the races and creatures found within Tamriel. In conversation with the ESO team, we have also been working on skill and class lines, province maps, story quests, and other elements players will see when they open the box. We've made a lot of progress in these elements and are excited to see how they will be received by fans. Okay, so I'm seeing that's all I'm going to read from this article. From what right now, for what has been released for Betrayal of the Second Era, it looks like we are getting exactly what I want out of this game, and I look forward to hearing more before its actual release next spring.
So the site I'm looking at, I think, is maybe just a description, like a product description. It says, The Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era is a 1 to 4 player cooperative tabletop adventure set during Tamriel's Second Era, specifically during the events of the Plane Meld, as the Order of the Black Worm plots to secure the Amulet of Kings. As the Dark Cult schemes, however, one of its members is planning an even darker betrayal, one that will tie Tamriel in with oblivion forever. Adventurers work to uncover her machinations and stop her plot amid a bevy of endlessly replayable content. As in the Elder Scrolls video games, players will travel on an epic journey balancing exploration, character building, dungeon diving, and close quarters combat. Each adventure in the game takes place over the course of 3 gameplay sessions, with sessions being roughly 1 hour per player in length, which is what you said earlier. Players customize and control a single hero throughout all 3 sessions of an adventure as they manage multiple skill lines, classes, and experience the many regions of Tamriel, each with their own unique flavor and mechanics. Experience points are handed out generously, allowing players to build interesting and unique characters in the consolidated time span required in a tabletop experience. Session-to-session progression is meaningful, but players are not required to remember complex narrative points or play with the same group forever. So, yeah, that sounds really cool. And I was muted a minute ago, and I was trying to say this when you brought it up about the tiles, because I haven't seen the picture of the board, because I was looking at a different link. But something that kind of makes me think is maybe they're going to, there it is. If they wanted, they could add expansions to this game later.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, so that's cool. With it saying endlessly replayable content, because that is one thing that when you hear a narrative-based game, you think, well, am I going to play through it once and kind of be done with it? Or is it something that if I play through again, I can have a different experience? But definitely. Have you seen a price revealed on that yet? Has that been?
I have not. I could probably guess on a ballpark just because I see a bunch of them, but I won't until we get closer and see more of their content.
Yeah.
But right now it looks like it's going to be a pretty large game, so honestly I can't wait to see more on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see, see some more information, and I think it could be kind of a fun thing. I'm looking for a way to, potentially get uh, people in my home to engage in some level with some of this nerdiness with me, but uh, outside of watching Lord of the Rings and that kind of thing, it's about the extent of what we of what we share together in uh, kind of the whole fantasy genre. But yeah, definitely looks good. The board game based on video games thing has uh, seems to be kind of really taken off. Uh, but I know there's been a few other games recently that I've seen announced, including one on a card game that I play, uh, mobile. That's a single player card game, but it's going to be a cooperative board game. So it definitely seems like this is a thing that uh, demand for is increasing on. So it's cool to see people taking these things and running with it and making some unique experiences.
Well, if we go back to the digital side of things, there's more stuff coming out.
Is that the next thing in the notes?
That is the next thing in the notes.
Okay. Uh oh. What did I do? There we go. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. The Wrathtide crates, right? Am I reading that right?
Wraith? Wraith
Wrathtide.
Tide?
There we
I think.
go.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing my glasses. Can you tell?
I'm not wearing your glasses either.
Uh. All right, all right. Okay, so these you can actually already get right now in game. And so if you did your Seals of Endeavors last week and you got your easy 210 Endeavor points, you should probably keep getting those if you're obsessed with furnishing. But, Starbridge. Okay?
Yes.
Starbridge. I don't know what else you need me to say from that. It's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how big that is? Have you seen it in anybody's
It's
house?
huge. I haven't seen it in anyone's house. I don't have enough endeavors to get it yet.
Uh, how many is it? Do you remember offhand?
It is uh 3,600
Ooh,
endeavor tokens. Yeah, that's kind of steep.
I think I
But
have that.
yeah, if you
I-
get that and then the hourglass at the end of the year and boom, island will be pretty cool.
I'll have to take a look at that. I have no idea what to ever spend those things on. I keep thinking I'll just keep saving them until I see a mount I want or something. But
See,
uh,
I save them for motifs. It's for style it for doing because you can get like the motif things that come in the crates with it, and that's nice for doing crafting. So
right, uh, yeah, there's some cool looking stuff, just like the color scheme and kind of the uh, everything's kind of dark, spectrally looking. Uh,
and then there was another thing. We're gonna look at it. You know what? What am I doing? I can look at it. Boom. Let's look at this. Let's look at these crown crates because we can do that. I mean, if you're listening, I'll try to describe it, but alright, so it looks like our featured is you can turn into a skeleton, glowy eyes, a horse. Okay, so we got this. Okay, so we get a horse with a crazy summoning circle underneath it and flaming mane. That bridge. That bridge, though. And then there's this water wolf. So you get your standard crazy mounts. And then some cool new FX housing items. That's what it looks like we're getting out of these this time around. Right, that bridge!
Yeah, that thing is really cool. It looks pretty big. Just looking at the picture of the person standing on it, I have no idea where I would put that thing, but man, it does look cool. Um, and if you are watching uh, on my screen at the moment through YouTube, I don't know if you pulled up. Did you pull it up on yours and actually go in and look at it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going through and we're looking at some of the things right now.
Okay. Yeah, just the yeah. I mean, Starbridge is really no other way to say it. It literally looks like you're just walking across space almost, um, stepping on like glowy space dust. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, you are right. It is 3,600, and I'm sitting on 5,570. So
So you're
maybe
gonna mess around with that, maybe.
I very well might. Since all these mounts are 16,000, and it's taken me this long to get to that, might as well spend it on something cool. Uh, that not only I enjoy, but everybody else can come to the island and enjoy. Yeah. So if you like big cool bridges in your house, and you've done endeavors at all and saved up enough, or you want to take your chances with the crates, uh, then that is that is a really cool option there. Yeah, cool.
Also not in the feature, there's some other things like for housing. Like you can get a bat swarm. Um, that's also cool. I'm more excited for the crates that were announced towards the end of the year, honestly. But since they haven't been fully announced yet, and there isn't, and we're not going to do spoilers, I won't talk about it. But if you're interested in any of this, more power to you. I'm more interested in what's coming later.
You'll have to tell me later because I don't think I know what you're talking about.
That's fine.
um, I've probably seen it. A lot of times, this stuff I go, yeah, I haven't looked at this, and then I pull it up like, oh wait, yeah, I did see this.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All right, I'll sit back down now. Now that we looked at all of the fun things, for those who are watching.
yeah, and if you're not watching, well, our YouTube channel needs more subscribers so we could get a URL. So go do that, and then follow us on Twitch too. We'll tell you how later. Um, yeah, very cool. Yeah, the board game is a cool addition to, uh, I guess, the building out the world even beyond the games. We already have several books you could get um, as
I'm
well.
curious if we're going to get models with it. I assume we're going to get models with it, but we might not because, like, I'm just assuming we are because a lot of board games like that now come with the custom models and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But there's also, if you saw the the customizable character sheets, so that will be interesting. I just because the one they came out with that one board game with the companions and stuff, those models, those were so cool. They were so expensive though, but they're so cool. In my house, at least, we like painting and collecting and playing with models, so a little excited.
Yeah, I definitely think that I don't sit down uh, and paint the things, uh,
I
but
don't either. My husband loves to.
I definitely I like the. I mean, I collect. I've got two shelves versus full of uh, Funko Pops, so I like little collectible things like that, and just seeing the work that goes into the details and uh, things like that. So if they come with some that are pre-painted, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I'm going to mail them to you and let your husband paint them.
Uh,
I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
he loves painting things. He literally paints things for his family members just because they don't want to paint it, and he loves painting. So,
I
yeah, actually. Anyway,
I don't mind painting big strokes, like painting a wall, because but the detail, that kind of work is, I have a hard time
that
staying focused and being patient. But yeah,
I'm nodding. You can't see it. I'm nodding. For me, it's the small canvas. I like large canvases. I will do little detail on a large canvas, but no.
yeah,
Uh,
I haven't painted anything with any detail since high school, and that's been a few years. Um, but uh, I guess that's
exactly.
kind of it for news, right?
Yeah. So we got announcements.
Woot woot woot. Um, so I'll let you do those if you want. I'm trying
Oh yeah,
not
I'll
to
totally do
make
the
gross noises.
announcements. All right. So guild announcements. Oh, well, we had a fun thing we were saying for this first one. What was it? Master Angler Mondays with Moki. Um, those are still going on. Monday evenings in a zone. There is fishing done. Work on getting Master Angler. Get some perfect row out of the deal. Those are great for a lot. Those are apparently useful in a lot of different things. Or you could just sell it for gold. Fund your housing addiction. Uh, recommend joining. It's a fun time. Unfortunately, I've so far only been able to join once, but I would recommend joining. Uh, Moki is very nice about paying attention to uh, which bodies of water that you specifically need in certain zones, and that's been fun. Uh, our others is Treacherous Tuesdays / some days. We aren't it's not official right now, but it is encouraged on Tuesdays. Group up with some guildies and try to do a dungeon. Whether you want to just run a dungeon together as guildies, or if you need a story note mode, if you're looking to get together and try some harder content, try reaching for some achievements together. That's all encouraged. Um, and then trials, we have Wednesday night casual trials that are being hosted currently by Paul, and he has been hosting those for a while. We do have an official start date of October 8th for vet trials. So just watch the trials channel for more info on that. But for our Wednesday this coming week, we will be having normal Hellra, normal Halls of Fabrication, and normal Dreadsail Reef. There are still slots open for that as of us uh, recording on Sunday evening. So if you are interested in joining for a casual trial, you don't need, you just need to be have a CP level character and choose which role you want to be in. If you wish to learn a role, that is encouraged as well. And then
I was
all
just going to add to that. I haven't had a chance to actually take part in running any of the trials with Paulie since he started doing it.
mhm.
Um, but uh, from everything that I've heard from people that have been running with him so far, is he's just doing a really good job. Really good, really patient. Um, really wants to help people kind of learn the mechanics and learn how to play their roles, and offers to help people with uh, trying to get their build set up and working on ways that he can help them improve. So uh, definitely take advantage of jumping in on this stuff if it's something that you're interested in, because uh,
exactly.
yeah, because everything that I'm hearing um, has been extremely positive since he started doing it. Uh, and that's what we wanted. That we wanted to, uh, we wanted to find somebody that could run some trials and would be that kind of a person uh, to be kind of the teacher. And uh, you might some people use the term a Sherpa, uh, but just somebody who is patient and serves as a guide, not just rushing everybody through and expecting everybody to know everything, but willing to take the time to bring people along and help them to get better. Because the more people who get better at doing those things, then the better it is for the that whole side of the community that wants to do that, because it makes it easier to fill groups. If a 12-man trial, you only have 12 people that can do it, and one week somebody's sick, then you're stuck trying to fill a role with somebody you're not familiar with. And once you get enough people that even if every week you maybe have one or two different people swap in and out, you still have that familiarity. And then you can start working towards the vet runs, which did you touched on that already, right?
Yes, I do have more to add.
Okay.
For our trial information, a couple things. For vet runs, like I said, they'll be starting October 8th. Watch the Trials channel for more info on that. But what I can add right now is if you are interested in joining in any of the vet trial runs, the prerequisite for those is that you will have ran with the group for the normal version of that trial before you join in on the vet version. That's going to be the prerequisite there for that. However, with normal trials, if there's one that you are interested in doing, reach out, and that could be added to the trials list for the next week.
Yep. Yep. And that's what I was going to say. With that prerequisite in place, the more people that are familiar with the group and have been running, then you can start looking at getting into doing even harder content. And I'm not one that does a lot of the hard content on a regular basis or anything like that. But as someone who at one time was afraid to even attempt any of it, having people that were willing and capable of kind of bringing me along and showing me how to do things, and just helping me improve as a player. Now I'm much more willing and only slightly scared to try some of them. But
You want a funny story?
Sure.
So, the first trial I ever tried, alright? This is before I knew about ESO fam, before I knew about lore seekers, back when I was just a simple semi-solo player who only had a few friends in real life who would play with me every once in a while, and I convinced them to do a trial with me. So you get me, two of my buddies. None of us are one of them isn't even CP level. And what did we decide to do? Walk straight into Cloud Rest and go straight into the center.
With just 3 people?
Just 3 people. Oh yeah, we got our butts kicked. We got our butts kicked hard.
Nice.
But we didn't know any better. And it was fun. But now I know better. And
I don't think I've ever even been in Cloud Rest.
That's some fun imagery for you if you understand Cloud Rest and how the mechanics work, and you don't just walk. One doesn't simply walk into Cloud Rest.
Yeah. I joined a guild before Lore Seekers. It was a smaller guild at the time, and I think they were the ones that took me through my first trial, and so it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It can be chaotic. So one of the things you kind of have to understand is that you have a trial lead, and you kind of have to let them lead. You can't just get in there and talk over each other a bunch. But it's definitely fun to get in with 11 other people and accomplish. You have a single goal together to get through that and to accomplish that as a large group. It's different. It's a rewarding experience. It's kind of fun. At the end of it, instead of having just 4 people, you've got 12 people standing there to kind of celebrate together. So the more the merrier, right?
Exactly.
All right. Is that everything? I guess that is everything.
That is everything. You are now welcome to do the socials now.
All right. So, uh, if if you're watching us, YouTube or Twitch, and would rather check this out in audio format, you can do that. You can find us on uh, probably any of your podcast apps. I know for sure Spotify is the biggest one we're on in terms of where we see the most traffic. Uh, Apple, Google, and uh, tons of others. So just go search for a Snug Podcast in your podcast app, and you should find us. Um, if you are listening to this and you think that you would actually like to check out the live show, if you just want to follow us on Twitch, you can do that at twitch.tv/snugpodcast. You get the notification when we go live. The same with YouTube. We don't have a URL yet because we don't have enough followers there, so you can go follow and help us out with that. But if you sub over there, then you get or follow whatever the language is. I don't mean sub like a paid sub, but just subscribe to the channel. I think they do paid subs also on YouTube, but if you do that, you get that notification and you get a little extra at the beginning of the show because while I do edit out a lot of the crazy shenanigans that takes place prior to the official start for audio format because it doesn't make for good audio. The sometimes it is kind of humorous and whatnot, so you might want to check that out live. But anyway, so you can do that over on those channels, and if you want to reach out to us on social media, you can get us on Twitter at a Snugpod or at Snugpodcast, no A, just Snugpodcast. If you are 42 and up, or apparently 6th grade and below as well.
Or if you are old enough that you were a kid when the Never-Ending Story came out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so about that, we had a slight exchange, but without spoilers for a 30-plus-year-old movie or whatever. Your impressions?
It's okay. So it's hard for me to give a critique on this when it's one, been out so long, and two, I know that the people who keep pushing me to try to watch this film are actually very passionate about it, and I don't want to bash on them. I ended up watching it with one of my friends who was the age of the target demographic when it came out, and so I actually sat quiet through the whole film so I would not be a horrible person. But one, whoever posted the horse emoji on to that post in Discord, wow, that's heartless. Two, I think people focus on that horse scene way too much because that's why I wasn't allowed to watch it until my husband was out of the house. Apparently, I guess that traumatized him as a kid. The dragon was my favorite character for the record.
The luck dragon?
I love the dragon.
Yeah.
The dragon was awesome.
Yeah.
But those are my impressions.
Oh
and
goodness. What was his name?
Falcor.
Falcor, yes. I was drawing a blank. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. It's been out for 30 years now, so I don't feel bad spoiling this, but I think it was hilarious how the boy can wish for anything, and he wishes the dragon goes after these 3 kids, and he's like, is the dragon just giggles? Like, what? We're doing this? Sure, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched it as an adult, and definitely having the nostalgia for it helps. If you watched it as a kid, it's kind of the same way with the Labyrinth. My wife didn't quite appreciate the Labyrinth.
Still haven't finished that one.
But because I watched it as a kid, I have kind of a nostalgia for it. But yeah, Never-Ending Story, I think, is one that, going back and watching it now, some of the stuff, like there's this scene with it feels like building up to it. There's going to be this huge battle, and there's this conversation between the 2 enemies, and you think, okay, it's about to be this big epic fight. Nope. And it's over in about 3 seconds. And
yep.
watching that now, I remember thinking, yeah, there's this big fight coming, and then I watch it and I'm like, oh, that was it. So I really think, like, I don't often say I'd like to see a remake of a movie because sometimes a movie's just not that good, and the principle's not that good. Like, it's just not like I'm not interested. And sometimes the original, like, they don't need to remake Princess Bride. It's great. It's perfect as it is. It was cheesy, but it was purposely cheesy, and it
I don't
works.
know. It didn't stay very true to the book.
Well, I don't know about that, but I haven't read the book. But just watching the movie I think just works as it is. I don't know what they would aside from trying to be more accurate with the book, I guess. But uh,
It's just more so the puppets are replaced with CGI nowadays.
yeah. So, but
That,
the
that's
puppets in
why
that were
that
so
that's
funny
why
though.
you're
Like,
thinking that like never-ending story with the puppets.
um,
Because that's why that's my theory. Because you're not the first person who has thought, who's actually seen it back in the day and is okay with the idea of a remake for it. Because
yeah,
now, once I was told to watch it, I kind of kept being brought up a lot, and everyone who feels the nostalgia and loves it, it's one of those movies where everyone seems to be okay with the idea of a remake for it, and I think it is the whole more immersion with what you could get out of today's graphics and how far cinematics have advanced.
yeah, and just like that battle sequence I was talking about. Like, I'd like to see that done more justice. And uh, but the premise of this kid finds this book, and it's just this
He
like,
didn't return it. He didn't return it. He wrote a note saying he'd return it, and he didn't return it.
well, you know, there's a sequel.
I was told. I was told
it,
there was a
I don't
sequel.
think I ever liked it as much. Uh,
I was also told there's only a sequel. It's supposed to be the never-ending story, so clearly it ended at some point.
um, but I think the premise of this kid finding a book that just turns into this magical adventure, because it's the whole idea of imagination, right? Like, you read a book and get so engrossed in what you're reading that like you get sucked into it and you're immersed in it, and it feels so real because you're just imagining it. Like, it's a cool premise. Uh, and welcome to a Never Ending Story podcast, everybody. Um, but uh,
Yeah,
but
we
it's a
didn't mean for this segment to go on this long.
right. Uh, but it's a cool premise for a story, and I think being done with with more modern tech would be good, and uh, just better storytelling. I think that they could do a lot with it. The right director. Uh, I think it could be really really good. Uh, so that's definitely one that I think if they were with all the remakes that are happening these days, I think that's one that I would love to see done because I think it could be awesome. So anyway, getting back to our social media stuff. If you are 42 and up, and or you're in sixth grade, because apparently teachers want to communicate with sixth graders through email now. Anything in between is unacceptable. You can reach us on email at snugpodcast@gmail.com. Uh, and if you are interested in joining the guild, if you liked anything that you've heard, be it just us hanging out and having a good time talking, and you want to come be part of that, or if you're interested in the trials or fishing, or just finding a good community to be a part of that shares your interest in the game, Lore Seekers is a good place to do that. If you want to join, we don't do applications through the game. All you have to do is go to loreseekerseso.org. There's a apply to guild button there. You do need Discord installed. Um, so that'll take you into the Discord channel with a short application. It's just something to give us an idea of who's trying to come in, um, and that way we can, just make sure that the person applying is a good fit. We're a good fit for them. If you're coming in and you're like, I'm a super diehard trials person that only wants to run with really, really good trials people 100% of the time, and you
We
say
are
that in
not
your
the guild for you.
application, then we're just going to go, hey, just to let you know, like, we appreciate you applying. This probably just isn't the guild that you want to be in. So rather than take your guild slot with this, you'd probably be better off finding a different guild. And that's no hard feelings. It's just, but that's the purpose of the application, is just to kind of get an idea of who's applying, and that way we can sort of safeguard our community against people that may come in and not be nice people, and for the most part, it's done a pretty good job. So, again, that's loreseekerseso.org. Just click apply to guild, and process doesn't take very long. We've got officers that'll review the application in a pretty short period of time usually, and within a day or so, you should have an invite in game, and you can come hang out with us and play some ESO. Outside of that, I don't have anything else. Do you, Gwen?
Nope, we've covered everything.
Awesome. Well, once again, she's Gwen the Bard. I'm Nasal Congested. I mean, never separate. And we thank you for hanging out with us. And we will see you hopefully next week with hopefully a larger crew. And so we will see you next time. Have a good night.